What is up, guys? And we just got done. The show just went off. We had a crazy money and the bank just happened with a very surprising return and announcement made tonight, and a few other moves and moments that, to not sound like Triple H too much, has flipped the WWE landscape upside down. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the show. Let's talk about what just happened and the star ratings to go with it. And we started off with the Money in the Bank men's ladder match. And the shocking winner, of course, if you watched it, you know, Drew McIntyre. That's right, Drew won it all. Now, I know if you watched the predictions video, I said Jay was going to win. We're getting Yeet in the bank. And I meant that. I really thought it was going to occur. But when Drew won, I was under the impression AJ Lee would hopefully come back and we'd get this great moment. And, Drew did say he was going to win. Did he need to? I don't think so. I'm not sure if WWE making this call was the right call. A lot of my predictions were wrong today. Storyline wise, and we'll get into this later, Drew winning was idiotic and stupid and didn't need setup. If you want to move forward the McIntyre Punk SummerSlam match that we know we're going to get, let's do that without having him win the Money in the Bank ladder match and making the briefcase secondary. We already have that with the King and Queen of the Ring crowns. They feel secondary. This briefcase is supposed to be a big opportunity and a big moment, and we've already seen Punk cost him the match multiple times for the belt. We've seen Punk cost him major moments multiple times. It's kind of getting played out. Now, Punk could have cost him the ladder match. That would have been fun. We could have seen him do a bunch of different things, and it would have been better. But I still think this was a great match. Chad Gable and Andrade Cien Alamos is amazing. They were the MVPs of the match. Jey Uso did incredible things. The outfits were incredible. I loved Jey Uso's. I loved Drew McIntyre's. Overall, there was style, there were moments, and I love absolute chaos. So I gave it 4 stars. Now, thinking back to it after watching the cash in, because it does happen tonight, I don't know if it was a 4-star match, but then the terms go, well, is that on the match itself or the person who held the briefcase? And that's why I'm not going to move it down anymore. I think 4 stars. It wasn't the greatest match of all time. You can't say that it was. It was a great match. It was a good match. You will want to rewatch it. It's not a bad Money in the Bank ladder match by any means. But it wasn't the top tier best I've ever seen. Next up, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. And another one I got wrong. Sami Zayn retained yet again. Now, I hate it. I hate it so much. I love Sami as a person. I think he's got incredible charisma. He's an incredible wrestler. You could put him as that babyface underdog and it looks good. But Braun needed this. He should have gotten it. Like I said when I was doing my predictions, Sami Zayn is forgettable as champion. If I'm naming the champions, he's the last one I'm naming. I'll name DIY and Judgment Day as the new tag champs before I'll tell you Sami Zayn's the Intercontinental. He just is not the guy anymore. He could have dropped it and we could have had a great Braun Breaker Intercontinental Championship reign. That would have been amazing. But no, we get Sami once again overcoming all odds and winning the match. But when does that stop? When do we finally get a champion that feels like they're going to dominate again and not a champion who feels like he got lucky? I think this match was not what I wanted it to be. It wasn't that incredible. I didn't like the winner. I don't get the storyline. I don't get where it's going. Who's next for Sami? Why are we doing it like this? Like I said before, Braun Breaker needed it. Braun Breaker is great. Sami's great, but Sammy's better when he's not a champion. I think this was a 2-star match, and I don't see it being any higher ever. I don't think it's a match that I'd want to rewatch. I think if I was to rewatch this Money in the Bank later on, I'd skip over this match and just go on to the big return of the night, which, if you haven't heard yet, John Cena not only returned, but has announced he's in his last run in WWE. His last in-ring match will be at WrestleMania. He will be at Royal Rumble. He will be at Raw on Netflix. This is it for the childhood icon, John Cena. And thank you, Cena. Your retirement will be legendary. I hope this run is legendary. And I hope it builds up and shows just how amazing of a wrestler you have been my entire life. It really hit hard when he said that. And, I mean, it was emotional. I think they put it here in the card, which I get, middle of the card, pretty good spot. But it does take away from the Sami Zayn Braun Breaker match, and it definitely takes away from our next match. Overall, I wanted to touch on this. I'm going to be touching on it more in the next few weeks. I have a few videos I'm working on already, and I'm going to probably put one out this week about John Cena's retirement and John Cena as a person and as a wrestler and as a career. He is one of the all-time greats, and he was my childhood, so we're definitely going to have to talk about him. Next up, Damian Priest retains over Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, because Drew cashed in. Punk cost Drew. The match was great. It was amazing. If you haven't watched it, watch it until Drew's music hits. The Botch. And we've seen this now in 2 separate pay-per-views. King and Queen of the Ring and, of course, Money in the Bank. The ref counts 2, then says it's a kick out, it's a kick out, or it's not a kick out. And it's the opposite call that should have been called. Now, I get it, storyline, you want it to happen, you need it to happen like that. Drew's music was late, but it ruins the effect. You could tell if you look in the crowd when the ref says 2, they are pissed. They spent their money and this is what they get? This is some indie show stuff, you know? And then the cash-in. CM Punk breaks it up and costs Drew the match and costs Seth Rollins the match. It's not needed. I would have much rather had the one-on-one one-on-one Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest matchup we were promised and have Damian win over Seth that way. But we didn't get it. Overall, again, I think this is another 2-star matchup. I think it had so much potential. I was waiting for Finn Balor to come out because the whole segment before that, it just felt like we didn't get anything that we should have gotten. And it definitely hurt the matchup. I think Drew hurt the matchup more than helped, and it really maybe devalued that Money in the Bank briefcase. Next up, we have our new women's Money in the Bank. It is Tiffy time. Now, this matchup was incredible. The spots, the crowd chanting for Chelsea Green. It was all that it could be and then some. In my opinion, this match was match of the night. This match made the show even better. And when Tiffany Stratton finally won it all, you could tell it was the right call. This is a 4.5-star matchup. Io Sky's move at the end there where she went off the ladder was incredible. Seeing Chelsea Green go through the 2 tables was incredible. Seeing everything that occurred, the Naomi splits on the ladders. If you want to know how you do a multi-person ladder match, you watch this match and it will show you. I didn't give it 5 stars because I don't think Money in the Bank matches can be 5 stars, but 4.5 I do think they can be. And the only reason I don't think they can be 5 stars is because you have to do something so spectacular that there's no doubt we just saw the best Money in the Bank match of all time. And I can't say that we just did. It's one of them. For sure, it's got to be top 5 all time, top 2 all time even. But can I say it's the best of all time? No, not yet at least. Maybe after it sits a little bit, it feels a little bit better, then we'll say that. But for now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved this match. I cannot say enough praises, but it's great. It just wasn't the 5-star classic that we needed. But again, match of the night by far, maybe one of the best matches we've seen in a long time in WWE. Finally, we had the main event, which was Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens versus Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa. And the winner was the Bloodline. And we saw Solo pin Cody Rhodes. Now, this does set up perfectly, and I did think the Bloodline needed the win. Jacob Fatu looked absolutely incredible. Tama Tonga looked absolutely incredible. Solo Sikoa looked like Solo Sikoa. There's the problem, but it was great. In the future, though, I think WWE really does need to move on from whoever has the WWE Championship has to be in the main event. They don't. This match had no right to be the main event. Either the men or women's Money in the Bank should have been the main event, and it should have been the women's if we wanted to have Drew do the cash-in. It would have been better. It's the namesake. And if you didn't want it to be a Money in the Bank match, okay, cool. It should have been the championship match. The fact that we always have to have Cody in the main event because he's our WWE champion is an old school kind of thinking and not something we've always seen. I mean, we've seen it before where the World Heavyweight Championship in the past was the main event. And I'm talking before it got brought back. I'm talking before 2020, back when it was just the big gold and we had Triple H holding it and Undertaker holding it and John Cena holding it with Randy Orton and Batista. And their reigns felt so much more important because it was in the main event. But it was a good match overall. I liked it. I think it did exactly what it needed to do. It felt weird that nobody came out when the ref got bumped and it just kind of went to total chaos, but I do like the chaos. I gave it 4 stars. I think at that point in time I was over multi-person matches. We had so many tonight, over half the card. I think we only had one actually one-on-one matchup because the other one got turned to a triple threat. Overall, it was a great pay-per-view. And this match definitely was up there. Like I said, it fell flat from the Women's Money in the Bank match, but it was destruction. We saw announcement tables broke, the Prime bottle used. We saw Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes all destroy Solo Sikoa. Solo does not look strong. That's my problem here. If you want to be the tribal chief, you should look the strongest. Tama Tonga looks stronger, and Jacob Fatu looked stronger. I think it's going to hurt WWE if they don't make Solo look better or kick him out of the Bloodline. So we'll have to see about that. But overall, again, I do think that the pay-per-view was a massive success. I think it was probably a 4-star pay-per-view, one of the best I've seen in a while. Definitely was better than Clash at the Castle. Definitely was better than King and Queen of the Ring. WrestleMania is a little bit more topical. If it's better than that, I don't know if I could say that. But it was a great pay-per-view. It was a great premium live event. And I think it's one that if you haven't watched, you should watch. It was entertaining throughout. We had the highs, we had the lows. And yeah, I would recommend this pay-per-view to everybody. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. Comment down below your favorite moments or where you see these people going. Maybe when you think Tiffany Stratton will cash in her Money in the Bank. When will Tiffy time finally be? And make sure you subscribe as well. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a video. I'm back on the recording game. I've kind of got my schedule down pat. I just started a new job, so that's why it's been about a month. I've been trying to do wrestling content while working, and it's just been so much. But luckily, I've got that fixed now. But again, thank you guys all for watching, and goodbye.